Clark off the screen, finds some space, and delivers! It's a triple for Caitlin Clark!
Yesterday's game in Indianapolis was a powerful statement from Caitlin Clark as she exploded back onto the court following the Olympic break. Dropping 29 points, dishing out 10 assists, and grabbing 5 rebounds, she delivered a performance that showcased her dominance. But here's what's truly historic. This win marked the Fever's third victory over the Mercury this season, a milestone the franchise had never reached before. Clark isn't just winning games. She's reshaping the Fever's history. If you need any more proof that the league is bending to her will, just consider her post-game words. One of our biggest wins of the season so far was our first win at Phoenix. I think that really kind of boosted us into how we're playing basketball right now. It's clear. Clark isn't just fitting into the WNBA. She's forcing the WNBA to keep up with her. But let's take a step back. Caitlin Clark's journey in the WNBA hasn't been smooth sailing. Remember how the season started? It was far from a breeze. As the #1 draft pick, Clark entered the league with immense expectations. And like many rookies, she faced the harsh realities of the WNBA, tougher defenses, a more physical style of play, and seasoned veterans eager to test her every move. In those early weeks, Clark struggled to find her footing. She made mistakes, turned the ball over more than she'd like, and at times seemed a bit overwhelmed by the pace of the game. But here's what sets Clark apart. She never backs down. Every challenge, every misstep, every critique. She used it all as fuel. Then came that first win against the Phoenix Mercury, and it was as if a switch had been flipped. The same Clark who dominated in college was back, but now with the poise and confidence of a pro. Since then, she's been on a meteoric rise, breaking records, leading her team, and earning the respect of even the league's most seasoned players. And perhaps what's most remarkable? She's doing it all with a smile, as if she's enjoying every minute of the ride. This combination of raw talent, relentless work ethic, and sheer joy for the game is rapidly turning Clark into a WNBA superstar. Now let's dive into this incredible game. Scoring 29 points, handing out 10 assists, and pulling down 5 rebounds is impressive on its own. But the stats only tell part of the story. Let's start with her shooting. Clark hit 8 of 16 field goals, including 4 of 11 from beyond the arc. That's 50% from the field in a high-pressure WNBA game against one of the league's top defenses. That's the kind of efficiency you'd expect from a veteran, not a rookie in her first season. But it's the 10 assists that really stand out. Clark isn't just a scoring powerhouse. She's elevating her entire team's performance. She was directly involved in nearly half of the Fever's points that night. And here's another key stat. Clark went to the free throw line 10 times and nailed 9 of those shots. This tells us 2 things. First, she's playing aggressively and forcing the defense to commit fouls. Second, she's unshakable under pressure. Free throws test both technique and mental toughness, and Clark excels in both. Caitlin Clark is more than just a rising star. She's a game changer. And as she continues to dominate, one thing is certain. The future of the WNBA is shining brighter than ever, with Clark leading the way. What makes this game truly special is the timing. It was the first game after the Olympic break, and while many players come back a bit rusty, Caitlin Clark? She returned in peak form, ready to dominate. And let's not forget who she did this against. The Phoenix Mercury aren't just any team. What we witnessed was a performance that makes you want to tune in to every Fever game and seriously rethink their playoff chances. A few months ago, the playoffs seemed like a distant dream for this team, but now it's more than just a possibility. Currently sitting in 7th place in the standings, the Fever have come a long way from last season's last-place finish. With Clark playing at this level, the playoffs are almost within their grasp. Now let's talk numbers. The Fever have a favorable schedule ahead, with several games against teams below them in the standings. If they keep up this level of play, especially with Clark leading the charge, there's a real chance they could climb even higher in the rankings. But it's not just about the stats. It's about the winning mentality that Clark has brought to this team. Look at how the Fever are playing now. They're not just competing. They're expecting to win every game. Of course, Coach Christie's side still has work to do, particularly on defense. There were moments against the Mercury where the Fever seemed to lose focus, and that can't happen in the playoffs, where every possession is crucial. And let's not overlook Kelsey Mitchell. She came back strong after the break too, dropping 28 points in the last game. With Clark and Mitchell forming a dynamic duo, the Fever now have one of the most dangerous backcourts in the league. Imagine the Fever in the playoffs with Clark playing like this. They could be a serious threat to any team. Clark has that rare ability to elevate her game when it matters most. In the pressure cooker environment of the playoffs, she could be the difference between an early exit and a deep run. But here's the thing, this season is just the beginning. What Clark is doing now is laying the foundation for the future. She's changing the culture of the Fever, turning them from underdogs into legitimate contenders. This kind of transformation attracts more talent, boosts fan interest, and could mark the start of a new era of success for the franchise. Right now, the Fever's playoff prospects are brighter than ever, thanks to a rookie who's playing like an MVP. Are you all keeping up with this? Honestly, sometimes I have to pinch myself to believe what we're witnessing. Caitlin Clark continues to surprise and amaze us. Let's take a moment to reflect on where we started this conversation. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA as a rookie with incredible potential, but with plenty to prove. Fast forward to now, and she's not just meeting expectations. She's exceeding them, dominating veterans and breaking records. But here's the most exciting part. This is only the beginning. Clark is still in her rookie season. Imagine what she'll be capable of with more experience, a stronger bond with her teammates, and a deeper understanding of the league. And it's not just about Clark. She's transforming the Indiana Fever from underdogs to serious playoff contenders, turning a team that once fought to stay out of last place into one that now commands respect from every opponent. But now, I want to hear from you. What do you think is the most impressive part of Clark's journey so far? Is it the insane numbers she's putting up? Her on-court leadership? Or maybe it's the way she's changing how people view the WNBA as a whole? And think about this, if Clark is already doing all this now, what can we expect come playoff time? Are we on the brink of witnessing one of the most thrilling playoff runs in WNBA history? It's definitely possible. But one thing is clear. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever's success have made them the team to beat. Every team in the league is now laser-focused on figuring out how to stop Clark. Scouts are dissecting her every move, analyzing every play the Fever run, and opposing coaches are burning the midnight oil to devise strategies to contain this rising star. And the league's veterans? They're not just going to sit back and let a rookie take over the spotlight. There's even more at stake, because the pressure is only going to intensify. Every game from here on out is crucial in the race for the playoffs. One slip-up, one off night, and everything they've worked for could be at risk. How will Clark handle this mounting pressure? Can Coach Christie Sides fine-tune the team's tactics to fully harness Clark's talents without overburdening her? And what about the rest of the Fever? They'll need to keep up with Clark's pace and continue evolving as a team. Then there's the looming question of the playoffs. Just making it there would be an incredible achievement. But what happens when they do? The intensity ramps up, and the margin for error becomes razor-thin. Clark is phenomenal, but she's never faced the pressure of a WNBA playoff series. The road ahead is thrilling, but it's also filled with challenges. The big question is, are Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever truly ready for what's coming? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on everything happening in the WNBA, especially with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss a single moment of this season, which is shaping up to be one for the history books. Thanks so much for watching until the end, and we'll catch you in the next video.